Well, the guy's way down in southern Kansas where we picked up this 1966 Oldsmobile F85. It hasn't been running in about 10 years, give or take. I'm gonna try to get this thing going and back on the road again. But of course, first we gotta walk around it, drink it up, and see what we're in for. I think I'm gonna start in the trunk, see if we got any, engine parts or anything like that. Tells a good story. Great. This will be fun. Now, immediately, you can see this has kind of been turned into a street strip car. It's got this crazy bowling ball paint and big snorkel and tires. So I'm a little nervous we're gonna find like head gaskets or something like that in here. Might be the reason it was parked. Oh, that's great. Found the gas tank. That's neat. So I'm gonna say we have a fuel issue right off the bat. So that's fine. Look at this paint. That's wild. Wow. They even did the underside of the thing. Well, let's jump inside the rig. Oh yeah, oh boy. It smells like a wristwatch full of earwax. It's really different. Two things I noticed immediately. We got some sort of cage in here. Okay, 4-speed. Yes, that is great news. This was definitely crudely cut in, so it was a automagical transmission to start with. Mileage, 8,945. Nope. We got a Gran Turismo wheel. I'm getting a 90s feel here. We got miscellaneous switches. We got a radiator laying in the back seat with a bunch of empty wobble pop cans and a fire extinguisher. So the previous owner definitely partied. I'm gonna tell you that. There's no ignition stick. So that's, nothing new for Roadworthy. And I'm gonna have to move the seat if I'm even gonna sit in this thing. It's not Sasquatch size. And based on the radiator and fan shroud, I think we're gonna have a lot of work in the power barn. See what we got under there. Look at the bird eater on this thing. Goodness gracious. Yeah. They used to be pretty cool. Not so much anymore, I guess. Yes! We got a big blocks. 455 probably. Ish. Looking like ish. Oh, we got a radiator and the fan and the belts and the whirly-woos and all of that. It's got hot rod parts and then headers. It's got updated music pipes. I mean, all in all, it looks to be really complete. So this car's sitting in a tree row from the guy that we bought it from. I want to try to get this thing running, driving off the property and down to a neighbor's shop. He's going to let us wrench in there. But I've got quite a bit of work to do to try to get this thing fired up. So I brought my brother Sean over and he's going to be helping me out. How's it going?
It's going.
Big block.
Big block.
4-speed.
Like that.
Bowling ball.
Big tires.
Tires.
Yes.
Yes. So I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to convince you to lay upside down and put an ignition in this, or wires or something to do the starter. I'll figure out fuel and spark. We can meet in the middle, see if this rotates, see if we get this thing barked off.
Sounds like a game plan.
All right, let's get started. So this is a really interesting vehicle, and I personally find Oldsmobiles really interesting, which you probably don't hear a lot of car guys say, but I do. And not only the car, but the inventor, Ransom Eli Olds. He was more of an inventor than an automobile pioneer, but obviously he was also very successful in that. I was gonna kind of take a look at the trim tag here and just make sure what we got. This is a 66. It was made in Lansing, which is kind of the headquarters for the car. It's an F85 Deluxe, which is kind of the platform for the legendary 442 and the Cutlass Supreme and everything like that. But you don't see a lot of these on the road anymore. It's kind of a neat vehicle. Paint code KK. That's Ocean Mists, which is kind of a turquoise. Maybe on the inside of the door panels we could find some. Where'd Sean go? He quit already? I think so.
So, in order to get this old ignition out, you gotta have a key to be able to turn the tumbler and to press the switch. Well, we don't have the key, so I'm gonna try to drill it out. or just push it all the way through the dash. And then pry all the innards out and put a new tumbler in.
No pain, no gain.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Just keep doing it.
Okay.
What's happening in there? Crank it, see if it works. Barely. But it works.
It works.
Boy, she's drier than Bob Barker's skin. So this old 750 Edelbrock's just been sitting too long. The needle stock and the squirters weren't squirting. So it's not gonna work. I'm gonna tear it down and just see if I could throw a cheap rebuild kit in it, save some money and just use this old guy here. So you really wanna use a clean working surface when messing with your fuel metering device. This old fuel tank should do the trick. Definitely a calendar pose right here. More lips, more lips. Push your butt out.
What?
I've never seen a rock actually make it through a carb. It's pretty impressive, actually. I'm not even mad. I'm gonna soak this thing down, toss this new kit in here, put it all back together, and then hopefully, as long as there's compression, this thing should bark right off and make some noise. Got a ladybug. Hang on, little feller. It's gonna be a ride. So here's where we're at. We're ready to fire this thing up, or at least attempt to. We've made a temporary fuel system out of the old snowmobile tank. Sean's got that wired in with an extension cord. We got a kill switch in the cabin, believe it or not. We've done a makeshift carburetor rebuild on this. We've tested, we've got spark. So theoretically, if I pull this trigger, it should fire off here and make some noise. You ready?
Ready.
Bring the thunders. Nothing. Let's bring it again. Something doesn't sound good.
No, sir.
I think that's what you call a knock. The battery is plenty fine. Help! That didn't seem to work. Man, this is actually, might be really bad. Why else would they park a beautiful car like this? So we've got a very prominent knocking sound coming from the engine. It's like a cabin screen door. It's loud.
It's loud.
Yeah. Now it won't spin over at all. So we got a wrench on the crank.
Oh yeah, she's tight now.
Yeah. So there's something going on. I got an idea, Sean.
Whew.
What if this thing is like 42 to 9 compression, theoretically?
Yeah.
Everything inside's brand new, lost the receipts. It makes 3,000 horsepower. What if we pull all the sparkulators out, then try to spin it over?
Get some lube around in
Because
there.
then if it's tight still, we know it's not compression, it's mechanical interference somewhere. Okay, plan. So I think what we're gonna do is try to hit a bird with 5 stones. Sean is gonna juice up all of the cylinders, fill them full of Marvel mystery oil. We don't know what's in it. It's a mystery. And while he's doing that, I'm gonna replace the SAD cable on the battery because this thing's smoking like a bingo hall. And that way we know we've got a good ground. The starter's getting all the juices. We're gonna charge up the battery. We're gonna have lubrications. We're gonna try to spin it over again long enough to where we can start diagnosing where this knocking sound is coming from, because it's not going away. It's kind of like taxes. You know what I mean? Okay. That's better, right?
Sure.
It's this oil. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, you can hear it now. Oh my gosh, you could feel it in the pan big time. Water pump?
Impeller or something weird in there? Or, I don't know.
Well, why would you feel that in the pan? Is the fan on the alternator hitting the bracket?
No.
Is the crank hitting the timing tab? No. Could it be the crank hitting the windage tray. I mean, even if it runs, we're gonna have to pull it. Can't run it like that. So now, do we rebuild it, or do we find a 455 in a jet boat somewhere? It's not really jet boat season, though.
It's not.
You can barely hear it. It sounds so bad. So we're still not ready, to accept defeat. So we cut the belts off and we're wasting more time, hoping that something other that's rotating is making the noise. Probably not, but it's worth a shot. So if it still makes noise, it's crank engine related. Ready?
Yes. Ready.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, did you bring any fishing poles? It'd be a good day to fish. Well, clearly the bowling ball Oldsmobile has some issues. We're not going to be able to resolve them up here on this hillside in this tree row. So I think what we're going to do is try to throw this on a trailer, get it over to that shop that we're going to borrow. We're going to have to pull this engine out and at least take a look at the thing, see how bad it is, do something. But nonetheless, off the hill it goes, into the shop it goes. Well, we're down the road at Ray's house, don't you know? You know Ray.
Yeah.
Neighborhood hot rod guy. He said, hey, I got a lift, some tools, stuff laying around. Works out great because we're going to really have to dig into this thing. So we're going to go ahead and get the hood off, start taking off all the accessories and everything like that, get ready to pull this engine out, find a cherry picker, plop this thing out, and we may potentially rebuild this depending on what kind of damage we find in the pan. Could be simple, could be just not so good. In that case, we'll go find some million-mile engine, throw it back in. Easy.
Perfect.
Yeah, pulling engines on day one is definitely my favorite. It's like, I don't know, I wrote it in my diary. Pulling engines is very fun.
Yeah, I'm still here on this one bolt.
What's that?
Where'd that even come from?
I have no idea. By the way, he was running a square bore carburetor on a spread bore intake. We'll have to address that too if we reuse this. Remind me to not fix that. Now we'll lift her up. We're going to pull the torque tube twisty device out of it. Cross member bolts. Dropped all the shift linkage off. Dropped the shifter out of it. Finished taking the motor mount bolts off. Drag her out of here. Piece of cakes. Should we call this lickety splits? We gotta think of a bowling name.
The oil pan.
Gutterball.
The oil pan is smashed in. But that's what's hitting.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope.
Didn't we look underneath of it?
No.
I thought you laid under it.
When I turned the crank originally.
You didn't see that?
That's
what it is.
That's what it is. Weld something on it and pull it out.
Unbelievable. What a joke. Welcome to Derek's non-fictional storytelling time. The irons are thick. We got a lot of irony going on. What we fail to recognize each time we lay it underneath the vehicle is there's marks where a jack clearly slipped off and significantly dented the oil pan, which is now hitting the rotating assembly. But the good news is we just spent an hour stripping everything down and hauling it over here. The bad news is it's an easy fix. Or is that backwards? Either way, we wasted a lot of time. So what we're gonna do is try to weld on some stuff for working body panels. It's like a dent puller. You weld on little nails and then you can pull on them. We're gonna try to work this out. Oh, don't be so mean. And then that'll stop that horrendous noise. And then we can redo everything we undoed a minute ago. Great. Oh no! We're in the hole. Wait, where's the oil? Just gonna have to booger weld it. I think we got it. This is one of the most ghetto things I've ever done in my life.
Let me get I don't have my phone. I want some personal documentation of this.
I bet that's all we need. Ready? Engine sounds great.
Yeah, it's a good running engine.
I think we just, finished cleaning it up like we were saying. Well, it's been a day filled with highs and lows down here in southern Kansas working on this 66 Oldsmobile, but do I dare say we're on the right track to get this thing back on the road. Sean and I were lifting some long necks last night, talking about the F85 here, trying to come up with a plan, and I think we've got it after clamoring on it for a couple days. Someone was trying to turn it into like a drag car, obviously, but it's not. It needs a lot of updates to actually be competitive and work right on the strip. So I think we're going to convert it back to more of a street car, but it's going to have some pep. We're obviously going to keep the 4-speed and the engine and all of that. But the paint's got to go. We're going to change that up. And also the rusty roll bar in here that's way too forward and small. We can't even get in the thing. We're going to hack that out. So we actually drive it on the street, enjoy the thing, and hopefully melt the tires off as well. Plan?
Plan.
Is that what we're doing? Okay, I'll let you cut it out. Go to the scrapyard and get some gas money. There's so much junk in this car we haven't even explored yet. Oil company.
Singer Oil Company.
Still something in there. Okay. Intake manifold gasket set for a 400. So that's a really good sign. America Online version 5. 500 hours of internet. I'll be. Is that Jeff Goyer? This is getting real ghetto. Voltmeter. Don't need that. Oil pieces would be nice. Brap, brap. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. I like the random toggle switch hanging by the key.
Still don't know what that does. I turned it on yesterday.
So we were able to get the old 750 to work. It's semi-function, but it really needs like a good sonic cleaning. We brought this one as a backup, and I just decided to go ahead and throw this on. It also has the digital choke on it instead of the old cable style. So we're gonna throw some updates on the old rig. This should work pretty good right out of the box, but once we get it fired up, I'll get her dialed in. Boop. Is that a bald eagle? Nope, definitely not. The fuel line was an airline, believe it or not. Pretty cool, improved, but we're gonna update it. So we're gonna put an electric fuel pump in here. We'll put it on a toggle switch or something. I was just looking under here. Old timer that built the cars got some crazy, I'm assuming it's SFI bell housing on this Muncie. And in the back, they added a sway bar of some sorts. They also tried to box in the trailing arms with just random pieces of metal, and that keeps them from twisting. It's got some old school air shocks in it, another old school trick, stiffen up the rear off the line, and then there's spring cup spacers in here as well. So the guy was trying to go quick with the car, for sure. I'm gonna pop this rear differential cover off, because curiosity caught the tiger. And I just want to see what kind of gear sets in here, and also if it's a posi or if it's welded together or whatever, so I can plan my burnouts better here in the future. Here's the moment of truth. This is. What do we got? What is it? What's going on in there? It is not a posi. It is not welded, and it is also not mini spooled. That is confusing to me. Why someone would hop up a car with a 4-speed and all this other stuff and then have that. It's a 355 open rear end, which is actually a nice streetable gear with a 4-speed. I don't really want to link and lock this one, although that seems like we do that a lot. But if we're going to make it more of a streetable vehicle, I think we'll go ahead and just put the cover back on, fill it full of oil, and just let her be. Everyone's gonna think we're putting Lucas in the rear end. These guys are idiots. Going down. I didn't write it, I just sang it. Aerosmith. This windshield's all busted up pretty good. It's actually right in the driver's view, and most states that'll get you pulled over. So we're gonna go ahead and throw some new glass in that. While this feller's doing that, I'm gonna figure out how to get the wrong sending unit in the right fuel tank. So this is the correct fuel tank for the Kansas Cutlass, but I don't have the right fuel sending unit, fuel leveler, tubey thing. This is for a top loader. We got the side one. So I'm gonna make some bends and modifications to where we could still put this in here and still get fuel out of here at least by having the sock at the bottom. The float obviously isn't gonna work, but we don't need a fuel gauge, you know? Hopefully this will work though. Otherwise we're in trouble. Boom. That'll work just fine. Right into my teeth.
Hold on. That ain't going nowhere.
That ain't going nowhere. We got some firsts going on at Roadworthy. We got an actual key, the windshield, it's not busted out. We have a fuel tank, an actual fuel tank, and we could paint this thing yet. I mean, this is, you know, we're setting the bar. Remember that one time when you were a kid and I told you a tornado was coming to get under the steps and then I forgot about it?
Yeah,
And
just left me under there for like 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
You were safe though.
Uh-huh.
There wasn't a tornado.
It wasn't even a thunderstorm. There were just some clouds in the sky. And he said, hey, that's a tornado. You should get underneath the stairs.
Is anything pouring out yet? Man, that thing's running like Barry Sanders. And there goes $17 in coolant. One of the bolts on the water neck here is stripped out, so the coolant was just leaking all over the place. So we're gonna try to helicoil this because it's aluminum intake, and it's probably gonna be the best way to try to get a bite out of some new hardware in here, but it's a delicate procedure. If this works, we never talk about it ever again. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, surgery is done on the water neck. It ain't pretty, but could get a guy home, maybe. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's alive! What's the oil pressure?
60.
Flooded. It runs. It doesn't sound that great. It's definitely, by the way, this is not a 455. We were excited because we were told that this was a 455. It is not. The intake says 455, which is, I'm assuming, where folks got it from the guy that originally built it. However, we ran the casting number, and it's actually a rare E block. It's a 400 built in 66 and 67. And it was supposed to be high compression and cammed and all this stuff, but it's not.
No.
Which, that's fine. We still got a 400 4-speed, you know? Running terrible right now. I got to figure out this choke. I got to lean that up a little bit because it is really rich, like Elon rich. So at season 1, we tried to paint a car, the bare metal Bel Air, and it's called that because once we stripped it down getting ready to paint it, it was so bad we just ended up clear coating it, which turned out cool. It looks great. We found a shop just down the road. It's like 20 miles from here
they're willing to spray this overnight. So we're gonna jump in this, and the maiden voyage is gonna be to this body shop so we can hand it off to these fellers, let them spray this thing, and tomorrow morning, we're gonna have a different color on this car.
Oh, come on. Oh, that was weird. Second gear. Got it.
Got her. Unbolted seat. Got it.
Oh. Whoops. These tires make it there. It's going to be a miracle. But hey, car's running on the road. First time in over a decade, man. Good work. Oh, emergency vehicle.
That's not for us. Oh, yeah.
She's got so much torque, she rips the seats out of the floor.
That's a cop.
Great. Tailgating. No brake lights. And he's coming this way.
Is he?
I'll blow a tire if we go any faster.
Come on, guy. We got 2 more miles. Don't do it.
Yep, here it comes. Oh, no! Do you think they have a steakhouse in town here? Hello, sir.
Deputy Walton Sheriff's Office. The reason I stopped you is you don't have any taillights back there.
Yeah, we just got this old car running after 10 years.
Okay.
They've been going in and out, in and out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you, yeah.
Are you going somewhere here in Independence?
Yeah, we got like, what, 2 miles?
1.5 miles. We're
One
going
and a
to-
half miles. We're going to a body shop. They're going to paint it
Oh,
tonight.
okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going 1.5 miles, I'll just follow you there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's-
That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
okay.
That'd be
I'll be
awesome.
right back with you.
All right, thank you. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
He must be a car guy. First thing he says is, sounds good.
Well, at least now we got an escort.
That works out. Well, meet Gutterball. Well, I'm here with Scott at Quality Paint and Body and some of his crew here, and we've suckered them into painting our bowling ball. And you actually knew about this car or saw it around a little bit.
I did. I took a look at this car a few months ago and thought about buying it myself. It's in better shape than I thought it was from the photos, so.
It's not too bad. That's why we thought maybe just a quick scuff and shoot, nothing super fancy, just a whole lot of masking tape and a ton of primer. But no jams, no under the hood, nothing in the trunk, just down and dirty, 50-footer is kind of what we're thinking.
Sounds good. We'll pull her in and get started.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. These guys do really good work, the quality work, so it took a little bit of convincing to do something really quick and fast. So we appreciate it a ton. We'll see you guys in the morning, but I think you wanted to help them get started.
Yep.
I told you it wasn't going to go. Oh, he got it. Nice.
It already looks way better.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Well, this morning we're back at Quality Paint and Body, and these guys are really getting after it. Late last night, they stayed and pressure washed the Cutlass, evicted all the mice. There was quite a few in there, cleaned it up a little bit more. And this morning they came in really early. They've already got a lot of this sanded down, already modified the hood. They're making great progress on it. Let's head inside and I'll show you guys what's going on. Wow. So as you can see, a lot has changed. Most of the bowling ball paint is gone. Scott's got his whole team on this thing. They're attacking it like ants. The car is actually a lot more solid than we thought. Really, the worst part was right here, where actually this roll of solder dropped into the fender well back here, and it rotted a perfect circle when the bimetallic corrosion or whatever science happened, plopped a hole out. The coolest part is the hood they're working on over here. Let me show you this. So that big, huge bird eater that was on here is now gone. They've welded on this cowl. This is more of a GM style cowl, but I thought it would look cool having the original body line, then kind of this Camaro body line on the cowl, and then this line over here. It looks really good. These guys have done a great job. Gonna blend this in. We had a lot of hail damage in this too, they're gonna take care of. Here very soon, you're gonna see this go in the primer. You're gonna see the base coat go on, then you're gonna see the clear coat go on, and they're gonna bake this car down. Last time you'll see it bowling ball-esque.
we're getting ready to mix up some paint here. So when we started looking at buying this Cutlass, the first thing that I realized is all the Cutlasses that I see, at least like the F85s, the early one, 66 to 67, they're all blues or turquoises or reds or maroons, it seems like. And I've always been a fan of bigger cars being what GM calls butternut yellow. Oldsmobile calls it saffron, which is this really kind of pale, light yellow. That's the color we're going to be going with. So he's going to show me how to mix this up. We're actually going to do it. His computer has all these numbers and stuff. I don't know. You're going to show me how to do this.
This is the touch mix system. So it gives us the color selection of all the colors that go into making the butternut yellow and how many parts we need to add to the cups. So there's your T400.
Okay.
Squeeze that. There's a neat little element built into this program. So if you overpour, you can hit a button, it'll reset and recalculate your amounts to where...
What number am I looking at here?
You're counting down here and you're going up on the graph there. So you're putting 700, 800 parts in, so you're down to 5, 4,
okay.
And you're gonna zero that out.
It's just like ranch. Whoa now, slow down.
So now you're gonna get down to drips. Whoa, there we go. Okay, so in this case, you went over just a little bit. It's not a big deal.
So it didn't correct it at all. It says it's
It didn't
close.
correct it because it's close enough. We're within just a point of a part.
So this is now custom yellow.
It's now custom yellow. This is a one-off Derek butternut.
I like this.
Little shake. This is an Enviro-based paint, so it doesn't separate, it doesn't settle. Just a little shake and it's ready to go.
So you can't mix like a gallon and then separate it. It's by the cup.
It's by the ounce. So some colors have a minimum amount you can mix. Most of them you can mix just an ounce or two for touch-up. All right, so now we're gonna continue on. We got all of our paint in there. Now we're gonna reduce it, make it a little thinner to spray. And then this is where we add two components. We put in a binder, which is a clear, basically a clear coat. And that's what'll give it the thickness and the durability. Put this on the shaker real quick.
This is a lot better than, see, I use my riding lawnmower and I just strap it to the hood, drive around the yard.
Hey, it works.
Done mowing the grass.
Yeah.
Paint shook up, you know. That is the color.
I think we're ready to put some color on this car.
Sweet. I have to tell you, for a quick little day job, paint job, this thing is looking amazing. I can't wait to get this thing outside and look at it in the sunlight. But that's going to have to wait until tomorrow. They're going to finish this up, leave it in the booth, and bake it, basically drying the paint faster. Tomorrow, we're going to pull it out, pull all the paper off. Then we're going to cruise this thing through the back roads of Kansas. We'll see you in the morning. Well, in just 3 days, we've taken the 66 Cutlass out of a field, off the road for more than a decade, to running, driving, and obviously it looks amazing right now, but we're not quite finished yet. Under the hood, we got to adjust the timing. We're also going to make some carburetor adjustments, some jetting, and some other things there. It's running a little bit rich right now. Interior-wise, we're going to add some carpet. We got some different seats, and then, of course, we got some different tires and wheels. And my favorite part, we're going to jam this thing back on the highway and go have some fun. I think we're going to start on the interior, however, to get that buttoned up.
Hey, watch out.
It's fine, safe. We're trying to get the remainder of the roll cage that Sean so, precisely cut out originally, so we can at least lay some carpet in here and not have ankle breakers sticking out. So we're gonna Sawzall, death wheel, and plasma. Probably pry, hammer, and bang, see if we can get them out. Easier. Never raced, low miles. Ooh, okay.
Ow! Ow! Yep! Yep!
All right, carpet time. So what we're doing is changing the jets on the fuel make it happener here. It's running really, really rich, meaning it has too much fuel in the air-fuel mixture. What we're gonna do is put smaller primary jets and metering rods in to lean up the fuel mixture so this doesn't pop and bang and basically blow black smoke and unused fuel out the exhaust, because we have enough with, you know, blue smoke and oil smoke. Well, we've got just a few more things to button up here, a little bit of tuning, and then I got some totally different tires and wheels that are gonna absolutely transform the look again. Wait until you guys see those. Then we're gonna go find some nice back roads and finally cruise this thing after a decade. Stick around. Yeah, fade to black commercial. Well, guy and a guy were just getting ready to pull this rig out and go for a cruise, and we've lost spark. Literally, it was running, just shut off. Did some diagnosing. It's looking like a bad coil potentially, so I'm gonna try to rig some other lightning cannon here and hope that it works with this old Mallory system and get us back on the road, hopefully. All right, Tater Chip, let her rip. This is not good news. So, we got voltages coming into the ballast resistor, voltages coming out of the ballast resistor, voltages coming into the lightning can, and coming out of it. I also ohmed this out, primary and secondary coils, and also bypassed the ballast resistor, telling us all of that stuff is working. However, we still don't have spark at the sparkulators, which means our distributor from 1972 or whatever somehow has failed. So I'm gonna pull this unit out, put the other distributor in, time this thing, get everything hooked back up, and try to fire it up again. Yeah, it's really great when you can do this twice in a week. 2 different sets. It's about to get spicy around here. It's re-alive again. So now let's go drive it.
A chirp and the let off.
Chirp on the D-cell. It definitely likes the smaller jets. Not as rich. Oh man, we were driving over this bridge. Was that just last night?
Yes.
Looked like this. Nothing working, cop following us, thinking how are we gonna build this car?
Here we are.
And now the thing is running great. Man, what a change. Remember that one time they said it's a 455 stroker racing engine?
Yeah, I do.
The exhaust sounds good, at least.
It does.
I don't know what the mufflers are, but
Rust.
yes. Power steering works good. How's it feel to have a seat bolted down?
Feels really good.
Oh, rides so much better without those dry rotted bias flies on here.
Yeah, we're not wiggling around.
No, that was something else. Man, you can't beat a 4-speed in an old car.
I mean, if it would go in the third. Nope. Yeah. It's actually pausing.
Gets down a little. There's nothing better than cruising these back roads in old cars. It's not the same in a new rig.
It's not.
at all.
Well, you don't feel the whole road.
This is true. Well, thanks for the help once again.
Yes,
This is
sir.
a fun 4 days. This is an incredible amount of work that we did. The transformation is,
Turned out really good.
like, I would have spent another week, 2 weeks on weekends or whatever here and there, put a back seat in it, some door cards, find a dash.
Yeah.
This thing would be,
Pretty dang mint.
I mean, you'd take it to town
You could.
or the tavern. Ooh, there's a parking lot to our right. Big one. So remember when I said we should not weld the rear end?
Probably should have.
We should have welded the rear end on it. Well, it's been a few days of ups and downs with the 66 Oldsmobile. We found this in some trees in pretty bad shape. Actually, we thought the engine was bad. Turned out to be a caved-in oil pan, thankfully. But I mean, it didn't really take a lot of work. We just put a carburetor on it. Distributor failed last minute. We did an HEI conversion on it, tires, wheels, a little bit of interior. And the guys here at Quality did an awesome job with a really quick scuff and shoot, and it looks absolutely amazing. Overall, it's a really nice car, and I think it's absolutely roadworthy. What do you think?
I think it's a great car. With a little bit of work, should be a pretty cool around-the-town cruiser.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode, but stay tuned. There's plenty more to save. Let's go for another rip or something, huh?
Let's do it.